Welcome back to another BS Spooktober video. It's actually our final video. We know October is over, but we had this whole planned series and we wanted to finish it out even though our videos are coming out a little bit later. But we can keep the Halloween spirit alive, I think, because today we are giving a review of Stranger Things Season 2. And now this is a spoiler review, and so we're going to be getting into a lot of details about this season. Before we hop into that, though, we do have a big announcement.
Our 6-month YouTube anniversary is coming up later this month, and we wanted to do something special to celebrate it. So we are doing a giveaway and a Q&A. So how this is going to work is you can enter our giveaway by going to the link that we'll have in the description. And the only thing you have to do to enter the giveaway is ask us a question for the Q&A. There are other options for additional entries. That's up to you if you want to participate. But some of the giveaway items we have. So in the spirit of Stranger Things, we do have an 11 Funko Pop, the one with the Eggos. And then we also have a board game, a card game for you guys as well, which is Exploding Kittens.
This game is hilarious.
It's really fun. We've also got a Blu-ray DVD copy of Logan for you guys, and also a copy of the comic book Saga. This is the first volume. So we kind of wanted to get a group of things that represented all the things we like to talk about on this channel. So like we said, you can go enter that down below. The only caveat is that these prizes are for US only. However, if an international individual wins, you will get a $50 Amazon gift card because that's the equivalent of everything that we have in the giveaway.
It's just a little too hard to ship all this stuff far, far away.
Yeah, especially if we have like some of our buddies in Australia win. Like, we love you, but that's expensive.
That
So, without further ado, let's talk Stranger Things.
So starting out, we are super excited for this second season of Stranger Things. We loved the first season. We thought it was fantastic. And I don't think this season disappointed.
No, I actually would argue that this was better than season 1, just artistically and storyline-wise.
I would agree. I think season 1 really focused on your core group of kids and no one else was really involved. And you could tell that they made a concentrated effort to really get you to fall in love with the entire ensemble. Give everyone who didn't have as much screen time a shot and some more characterization this season.
So let's start off talking about the characters and the different performances by the actors who play these characters. I think all the characters in this were excellent. We got a few new faces, which were really fun. I was a little questionable about them at first, but I really liked how their characters played into the main storyline.
Yeah, I definitely felt like this season, they let these people act. Like, I think 11 was a big standout of season 1, but this season, I feel like they said, Will, act your heart out.
Yeah,
like,
so Noah, the kid who plays Will, oh my god, give him an Emmy. Like, he did so good. You didn't really get to see his acting chops in season 1 because he's gone for a lot of the time, and he's just scared. Like, that's the equivalent of all he acts is just scared. And in this season, he gets to much more explore his acting range, and he just did phenomenal.
And as well, Millie Bobby Brown does a really good job in this season. They give her a lot of airtime, and there are several episodes that she completely carries. So she did a great job.
Well, her character understands a lot more about the world now and is a little bit more or less, I guess, alien-ish. Because I felt like she kind of came across like kind of the E.T. thing, like season 1, because she's essentially playing a similar type of character. But this season, she definitely grows a lot. You see a lot more depth from her, and I forever want edgy 11 forever, please.
Yeah, her new style at the end of the season is fantastic.
Yes. So like I said earlier, we did have some new characters in this season, which was the characters of Billy and Mad Max, and I think that they were really great additions. Max, she plays a little bit of a Mary Sue, but she moves out of that pretty quickly, I think. I think the first few episodes with her is kind of that way, but then she gets much better and has a lot more depth to her character. I really liked her a lot, and then Billy is horrible, but like, he played the role well.
Yeah, he did a really good job in that role because everything else I've seen him in, he's like
the nicest person.
But he's also kind of like his roles. He tends to be like the cockier guy, but never as bad as this character.
Oh, have you seen him in other things?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
So
I just watched interviews with him, and he's like talking about cute kittens and things in an Australian accent. I'm like, you're adorable.
But he did a really good job playing a jerk. I think sometimes that's a harder role to play than just someone who's nice all the time. But I also thought that Max did a really good job and earned her place on the team.
I will also say we had a significant character development with Steve. I really hated Steve in season 1, and I kind of hated him at the beginning of this season, but as soon as he moved away from his relationship with Nancy, I really enjoyed his character so much better. I don't like him when they're together at all.
Yeah, we are both like, ugh, at the end of season 1 when Nancy went with Steve. But thankfully, that gets corrected this season, and Steve becomes way more fun as soon as he gets with the kids, and all the memes going around have been hilarious with him. So the core plot of this season is Will escapes from the Upside Down, but he's still flashing back into it, and he starts seeing this giant, super creepy, like, smoke monster.
Very Lovecraftian.
Very Lost-like smoke monster.
That's true.
And it starts coming for him, and it's pretty spooky the whole way through.
Yeah, this was definitely a bigger dive into the Upside Down, which I was really hoping we could get this season. I was worried that they were going to have this Upside Down world that you only get to see surface levels of, kind of like you do in like just some other, paranormal shows or something where you get glimpses of this other, whatever it is, parallel universe, whatever it ends up being. But they really went more into it this season, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I thought the overarching plot with the smoke monster guy really, it raised the bar for what the characters were dealing with. And one of the coolest things is, the big bad of the first season is the Demogorgon.
And the Demogorgon's nothing.
Yeah, because in this one, this big smoke monster ends up summoning tons of these. I'm assuming they eventually turn into full-size Demogorgons. They just never got there quite.
Well, not only that, but this, what did they call it? A Mind Master or something like that?
The Mind Flayer?
That, whatever. It ends up, possessing Will, which I think that episode is, the best acting I've seen from Noah, who plays Will. It was phenomenal, but it's really, I was not expecting anything that intense.
No, I wasn't either, and it was pretty creepy.
It was great. I really liked it, and I think you got to see, Winona's character, a lot more of the length she'll go to save her son. I really liked that she wasn't the kind of mom character who pulls the plug and is like, no, we're not going to do this, it's hurting him too much, but was like, nah, we got to get it out of him. I really liked that. So while all of that is going on, we also have Eleven kind of off by herself. The crew doesn't really know what's going on with her. They think she's still stuck in the Upside Down, I believe, at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And we find out that Hopper has been playing house, essentially playing dad with her in this cabin to protect her and to keep her safe. And he's also kind of become a unhealthy, strict parent along the way. And she ends up getting out and going off and doing her own thing and finding her mom, which was crazy.
Yeah. And
there was a lot of development with that, and she learned a lot more about her past and how she ended up in the facility we see her break out of in the first season.
Yeah, and actually, the most controversial part from what I'm seeing is a lot of people have opinions about there's a very 11-centric episode 7, where she actually goes off after meeting her mom, runs off, and finds number 8. And a lot of people didn't like that episode.
I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't like that. I thought it was a really good way to step outside of just the small town of Hawkins, which that's the opposite of what other people are saying. Everybody's like, no, it should have just been encapsulated in this one town. But I think that it raises the stakes, that it has, the reach of this has spread beyond the borders of that town. I thought just brings a lot more ability to explore more in future seasons as well. It kind of starts to open that door. And I really liked her getting introduced to her sister, because there was a weird relationship there that was very interesting, and I would love to see more of.
Because they both have powers and they're connected, yet they're also so different because they haven't seen each other in so long. And number 8 clearly has her own goals with what she wants to do and what 11 wants to do. And I thought it was a great episode for 11, and one of the biggest things is every episode that's focusing on 11, someone somewhere goes, this is your home now. 4 different times, everywhere she goes, and it's like, oh, this can be your home now. And I thought that was a cool thing, because they never directly did an obvious, choose your home, I'm going home, but that's ended up what she was doing, and that was kind of a theme for her story throughout, where are you going to choose to be? Because ultimately everyone around her is just saying, oh, your home's with me, your home's with me.
I think that was a really important part of her character in this season, because it gives her a lot of agency over her own life, which she has had none of up until this point.
Yeah, she gains agency and she learns a little bit more about how to focus her power and to use that.
And Homegirl is strong, man.
Yeah. And it got cool by the end of the season, which we'll talk about like the ending here in a minute. One of the most interesting little subplots going on here, like interesting why they chose to put it in there, is they have Nancy and Will's brother. What's his name again? Jonathan. Nancy and Jonathan are off kind of doing their own thing this entire season, and they're trying to like expose the facility that like essentially that Barb went into the Upside Down and died. So they're trying to like avenge Barb and expose them. And I thought that was it was interesting while it was going on, but not as good as all the other plots that were happening.
I think it was one of the slower parts of the season when that was happening. The only part I really enjoyed about that was when they go to God, I forget, like, what was he? Like, the guy who's, like, the conspiracy theorist guy?
Yeah.
Whatever. They go to his place to, like, try to get this out, and, you know, they end up hooking up, which I was all about. I was very excited about that, and it was just an adorable little interaction. I thought that part was funny because the guy they go see is pretty hilarious, and I think the romance subplot that was done there was actually really good, which I don't like romance subplots, so I liked it. So with that being said, let's talk about the climax of the season and the last couple of episodes.
So at this point, at the end of like the second to last episode, everyone's converging. Joyce is going with Jonathan to burn the creature out of Will, while Hopper and Eleven go into the facility. And at this time, Steve and the kids are hanging out at Joyce Byers' house.
Yeah. Well, and they're fending off the demo dogs. Demo dogs.
Demo
dogs.
Demo dogs.
Demo dogs? I don't
Demo
think that's
dogs.
right.
Like Demogorgon, but demo dogs.
Is it demo or demo?
Demo. Like demolition.
Let us know how you pronounce it. So they're all sitting at the house, and they have all the dog things coming at them, and that's when Eleven shows back up and kicks that off, but Steve is just there protecting all the chitlins. And yeah, like Steven said, Joyce is there trying to burn out the thing out of Will, which was very intense and very cool.
And I thought it had a good job for every character. The kids decide to distract all the demo dogs, and they go over to where Hopper first got trapped in the Upside Down, and they start burning it all, and all the dogs go away. And I thought it was cool that Eleven actually got the choice. You know, she looks at Hopper, she's like, no, I can go close the door. And Hopper's like, no, you can't. Like, and she's all punked out. She's like, yes, so I can. I'm going. Like,
so bitchin'. And let's talk about the big death of the season, which I was very surprised by. So Bob was a character that I believe was introduced this season. I don't think he was in last season.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Played by Sean Astin, who I just love. And I really didn't like him at first. I thought he was going to turn out to be evil or something, and then he wasn't, and then he grew on me, and I liked him, and he became part of the team, and then he just tragically dies, which I saw coming that entire episode, but I was still sad.
You knew they were going to do it. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't and kill someone else. I was hoping someone else would die. But they brought Bob on, and they actually, at first I was like, Bob. But by then it was like, oh, Bob's part of the team.
Well,
like,
I think
he's
he was good with Joyce, and good for her at the time, that everything she's going through.
But he was too good of a guy. That's why he had to die. And you could tell that they were also kind of moving him out of the way, because I feel like the show is definitely pushing towards a Hopper, Joyce.
Which, this might be controversial or unpopular opinion, I guess, but I do not ship it. I don't
want them to be together.
I like them as friends.
I think there is way too many story arcs of two people like that eventually become romantic and do that. There's not enough story arcs where two people like that just become really close friends and stay really close friends without it having to turn into some romantic subplot. Or like they try it and they're like, nope, let's stay friends. Like, I don't think there's enough of that. I think the coolest part of the season was the very end where you finally get to see Eleven really juice up on her power. And she closes this door, and the whole time the smoke monster's like coming through, and it starts to push through to get to her. And she's like closing the door smaller and smaller, and she just starts floating, and like blood's coming out of her eyes, and it was awesome.
She has so much raw power that I'm so interested to see where it goes throughout the course of the show.
Yeah, she continues to like hone her powers and learn how to use her emotions to use her powers. Like, she's gonna get so crazy powerful. And I'm super interested to see when they're going to introduce the other 10 people. Because we know number 8 now, but I have a feeling that by the end of this, we're going to be pretty familiar with all of them. And there's going to be something with that.
As we're watching this, but I think it was before she met 8, but we knew 8 existed. I was like, can we just have like a whole like Lilo and Stitch kind of like spin-off thing with all the extras where, you know, there's all the other experiments besides Stitch that get introduced in the series?
It's like the little TV show.
Yeah, do you not remember me saying this?
Yeah,
I was like, can we just have that with like all the other number of kids?
Which is true, and I think that we will find out where most of, if not all of them, are at some point and what powers they have.
It seems like they have different powers, yeah, so I'm very curious. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought, that's another reason why I thought that episode was so good at expanding the universe and kind of being like, no, there's other people out, and they have different abilities. So it's not just a bunch of more 11s running around. They all have their own, you know, ideas and motives and powers, and it's going to be cool.
One of the things I think made this season stand out so much more than the first season was the cinematography and the use of color. While those things did exist in a good way in season 1, I think that they were just amped up to such a cooler level in this season. Like, there were multiple times where I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, it was just done really well.
Yeah, they really went for the gusto with this one. They really did an awesome job having all the crazy colors, the huge set pieces. It just, every scene was visually interesting, I thought.
Yeah, which I don't remember thinking so much about that first season. We didn't rewatch season 1 before this second season, so maybe a rewatch would change our minds, but I don't remember that being such a factor. Not that they had bad cinematography or anything, but I think that it was just more special in this season.
There were multiple times this season where while we're watching, we're like, oh, that was a cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't remember doing that at all the first time, while it was good.
Granted, we didn't have a YouTube channel when we watched season 1, so we weren't as analytical.
Yeah, maybe we're a little critical now, but still.
Yeah.
Overall, guys, if you saw Stranger Things Season 1 and you enjoyed it, you should definitely continue this show. Season 2 does not let down. In fact, I think it's a little more enjoyable. It's better than Season 1 because it builds on all those great things about Season 1 and continues them. And if you haven't seen the show at all, definitely go watch it. I don't know why you watch this whole spoiler review, but go back, watch the show. It is worth your viewing time. As well, guys, remember our giveaway. The only thing you have to do to enter is to send us a question. You click on the link, and there's a little space for you to type us a question, so that way we can have questions for our upcoming 6-month Q&A. And that's all you have to do. There's a couple other things you can do to get extra entries if you want to win these prizes. We have tested every single part of our giveaway, and we like everything we're sending out, and I think you guys will like it too, and it's super easy, so hop in.
And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up down below. It lets us know that we should do more reviews like this. And if you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe. We do have a lot of different types of videos out besides movie or TV show reviews. And if you want to check out any of our existing videos, you can check them out right over there. And we will see you guys in our next video. Bye.